Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. I went ahead and took off tonight, as in leaving the house. I was debating on if I was going to leave today or in the morning, but with the scheduling I got, I needed to leave tonight. Dadgummit, I ain't been coughing till I started making this video. It's Memorial Day. Boy. Let's see. I didn't do a whole lot. You know, I've been a little under the weather. So, I didn't get to see my doctor Friday. Technically, I don't have a doctor. I go to a little clinic down there that's halfway affordable. I sure missed my insurance. But, hold on a second. I will try it again. So anyway, I went to this clinic. Not the one I really wanted to go to, but it was a clinic. One of them Dr. Now type things. And of course, to hear him telling it, the cigarettes and the salt and the lifestyle that I live out here, he pretty much gave me a death sentence, so to speak. I told him that what I'd learned was that from the moment we was born, we had a death sentence. But he did try a little bit of scare techniques. Whatever, dude. I am 57 years old. You think that people my age ain't thought about death? Really? I guarantee you I'm closer to it than I am far away from it. One is that basically, you know, if you quit cigarettes, you'll live forever. Well, no. I've been smoking for basically 45 years. You know what? I think the damage is done. Do I need to quit? Of course. But I don't need somebody trying to scare me. Then you got talking about, you gotta watch that salt, because I've been retaining water, is what it is. And that's been part of my issues that I've had. When I lay down the other day, it goes to my feet. While I lay down, I have my feet propped up, and then it comes up into my upper cavity. With me smoking, you get all that water around my lungs. It's hard to breathe when I'm laying down, which is why I've not been resting good. That all makes sense. Cool. Thank you. Now I know. Watch your salt. I'm like, Doc, I don't eat salt. I ain't ate salt in 30 years. I didn't bother to tell him, but living down there on that island in South Texas, I ate so much seafood that I got what we call fish poisoning or shrimp poisoning. And what it is an allergy to iodine. Most of your salt is treated with iodine because that's something that we don't get that we need. And if you have an allergy to it, you don't need it. So we do have sea salt and non-iodized salt around the house, but 30 years ago that stuff wasn't heard of to speak of, or if it was extremely high. So we would try to find non-iodized salt, which you can find. But you just get into the habit of not cooking with salt. I mean, if I'm going to boil some taters, yeah, I'll throw a little bit of salt in there to help them boil. If I'm cooking beans, yeah, I'll throw a little bit of salt in there. But other than that, our food really doesn't get salt. if you want salt, you have to put it on your food at the table. So I told him, I said, I really don't get salt. My wife, she always goes in with the doctors with me to make me behave. And which was good this time, because he was a bit of a smart mouth. And she told him, says, other than processed food, he really don't use salt. Well, you gotta watch processed food. I just looked at my wife. This is a conversation that I've had for years. People that don't understand the trucking industry, they don't have a clue, but they think they do. So I didn't say nothing, but my wife, she's got a little bit of spitfire in her, Texas gal. And she says, he drives a truck. What do you think that he's going to eat? And, well, you can take carrot sticks and celery sticks, stuff like that. Have y'all noticed I don't have teeth? Can you imagine eating celery sticks and carrot sticks and apples and stuff like that without teeth? It ain't a whole lot of fun. It ain't worth it. You know, I just shook my head. And I told him, I said, we cook a lot of food at the house for me to take out to try to get me to a healthier diet. Went right over his head. He's one track. He's focused in on cigarettes and the way I eat on the road. And he says, and I know some. He says, I know how hard it is to eat out there. You drive around bored and you're just munching on stuff. Well, no, I'm not. I don't. I eat to live. I don't live to eat. And there's a drastic difference. He says, and you're just bored and you're smoking and eating and drinking coffee. And I quit coffee years ago. I said, now I have an energy drink or two. Oh, man. And back before that, it was speed. I'm like, really? I said, yep, you got me pinned, Doc. People like that drive me crazy. People like that is why my wife goes with me when I go to see something, because I don't have much patience for that. He says, you got insurance? And I said, no, I lost that several years ago when I lost a good job I had. Oh, so since you don't have insurance, you're just perfect health. And I said, no, since Obamacare came in and I can't afford insurance or afford you doctors, then I have to deal with what health I have. And that's when the wife started cutting stuff off. You know, what can you do about this present situation, Doc? So, it's, he gave me some water loss pills and whatnot, which I've taken, and peed a lot this weekend. So I had a pee weekend. But, it just drives me crazy. People that don't understand the industry at all, and they're going to dictate to you what you're going to do, and you're doing it wrong. Really? Huh. Let me bring out some celery and carrot sticks. Or carrots and celery sticks. It's like, wow, really? So, and there was a little more. He did not diagnose my problems, but he gave me his opinion. And he gave me a little meds to get me through a month. You need to set you up a local doctor, or your own doctor. Yeah, no doubt. So, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, it reminds me of Washington, D.C. Let's get people running their mouths about the industry, and they know better than us what we need. They know better than us what we're doing. And we must be doing it to ourselves. Don't get me started. So after that was Saturday. We took Sunday off, me and Mama did. Actually, she sat there and watched The Godfather with me. They had The Godfather on. Then they had part 2 on this, following it. And she actually sat in there and watched The Godfather with me. I had recorded it. When I started to watch 2, and that's when she elected to go to bed. It was all good. Then I stayed up and I watched Tombstone. I recorded that a couple months ago and had never got to watch it. So then I watched Tombstone. So I went to bed about 3:30 this morning, and I woke up about 10. The wife let me sleep. Said she came in and checked on me a couple times because that just blew her away. I was sleeping that late. But I told her I ain't been sleeping more than nothing for the past week. I was running down hard. So then after them pee pills for a couple of days and getting some of that water off of me, I could sleep. So I needed it, and I did it. Excuse me. So I got up about 10. Today was Memorial Day, and it was also our youngest living son's birthday. And I'd invited him over the other day. Come on over and we'll barbecue or something for Memorial Day for your birthday. Your mama will make you a birthday cake. He said, well, I've been thinking about fishing. Well, son, there's a pond. I don't know what you'll catch. I ain't stocked it. You know, I don't know what's left in there after draining it and all that. So they showed up, I don't know, 11 o'clock. And I'd already been teasing his wife, our daughter-in-law, about she got to help with some of the prep on the cooking today. So she's like, all right, I'm here. What we gonna do? And the boy's like, I'm here. I'm going fishing. So him and 2 of the grandbabies went down there and went fishing. Spent a couple hours down there. He had fished the pond a couple years ago. And he had caught a couple little bass. And he had caught a few little perch, or, you know, bluegill, crappie. They're different names for them, but they're all in the same little family there. But he'd caught a few of those. The most of what he caught was a little bitty catfish. I mean, if they was 6 inches, they was doing good. And had a real yellow belly to them. And he had looked them up online back when he first started catching them. And what it was that pond had went stagnant, and there wasn't a lot of food in there, and it hadn't been taken care of, and it was surrounded by trees, and all the debris fell in there, which ate up a bunch of the oxygen. So it was not a good pond. That's why I redid it. Cleaned it out and widened it and made it bigger and all this. So he had did the research, and the research said that they would breed those little catfish, but they would never grow big. They would stay dwarfed or miniature. And that was pretty much all he caught today. But he hasn't had the time or the funds, or he couldn't justify the funds to get his fishing license because of his work and whatnot. I mean, he's got 3 kids, so yeah, he needs to work, and that's priority over fishing. He did learn something growing up, and yet that's to take care of your family. So we did some poppers today, jalapeno poppers. We did some meatballs. I'd been telling the girl, the daughter-in-law, I'd been telling the girl about some marinade that my wife had tried. And it was pickle juice. And now her kids, when they stayed with us, you couldn't keep pickle juice in the pickle jar. They'd drink the stuff right and just leave the pickles in the jar. That was kind of aggravating to me, but it happened. And I didn't make a big deal out of it. So, you can nowadays buy pickle popsicles. Excuse me. And when me and the wife want to marinate, that's what we do. We get those and we use them for a marinade. But I'd been telling the daughter that, the daughter-in-law, that these was really a good marinade. Now, when the wife had done it, she marinated some chicken in it, some chicken breast, sliced up chicken breast, and then she rolled it some pinta and flour, but a couple of things like that, and then she baked it. Man, that was some good stuff. Well, I told her I'd never tried that on the grill, but I've been debating on it. Well, she liked the idea of it, so let's try that on the grill. So when me and the wife went shopping yesterday, we wasn't up to it Saturday. We just didn't have the gumption. So we went shopping Sunday afternoon, and we got the pickle juice, and we marinated some chicken in that pickle juice. And that's all we put in it was pickle juice. Well, now, Saturday afternoon, when we ran in town for me to see the doctor and got our little lecture, we swung by Taco Hell. But neither one of us really felt like cooking that night. So we went by Taco Hell and drive-through. And a little girl in there, she said, "You want taco seasoning?" And the wife hollered, "Some mild." This girl must have put 50 miles in that bag. And we only got a 10-pack of tacos. Dadgum. So when we was shopping Sunday, I told the wife we cooked up 3 different meats today. At least 3 different meats. I told her, I said, you know, I was wanting to do them little breakfast chops. Little thin wafer cut breakfast chops, which I normally don't do thin outside on the grill. And when I say grill, I use a smoker. I don't have the charcoal underneath the meat and stuff. It's an offset smoker. So it ain't like I'm just hammering the heat to that thin meat. Well, me and her got talking, and well, actually we first started talking about it Saturday when we got home and we started to eat our Taco Hell. And she's seen how much that was, and she's like, I could open that up and have a whole jar of taco sauce. And I said, what if we do some of that pickle juice and we add some of this taco sauce to it as a marinade? Well, we agreed that we wasn't going to try that with the chicken, but we might try it with the pork. So that's what we did Sunday night. So we had the sliced chicken breast in just pickle juice, marinated. We had them little thin wafer chops in pickle juice with that mild taco seasoning, marinating. And we had got a big old round steak, and we cut that up. And when I was out in California a few months ago, probably a year ago now, I don't know, I'd stopped by this little store, and they had a John Wayne marinade and a John Wayne barbecue sauce. And I'd grabbed one of each and hadn't used them. So we discussed that. We decided that cut up steak, which we were doing for shish kebabs, we decided that we would marinate that in the John Wayne marinade. So we did that, and then we did my meatballs with the cheese filling and bacon wrapped, and then the poppers, which I tried them a little bit different. Which, see, now that's something else. I've mentioned it to you before, and yeah, this is getting long-winded, but oh well. you're either interested or you done left. It has come to pass. It used to be I could eat them jalapeno poppers all day long. Loved them. And they weren't really hot. Now my wife, she couldn't eat them. They was too hot for her. She'd try a little bite off of them. And if they weren't hot, she'd eat them. But first time she got one hot, and with a jalapeno popper, you never know till you bite into it. First hot one she got, she'd hand it off to me, and she was done eating them. But usually I could handle it. Anymore, dadgummit, it don't matter. The stuff's tasting hot to me. We did them poppers today, and I ate one, and I told her, well, I told the three adults, I said, yeah, that one's a little warm. And the wife's like, that ain't what I want to hear. I'm done. I said, wait a minute, baby. I said, that stuff here lately, stuff I'm hollering's hot for me, you're saying ain't hot. And she said, well, that's true. So she got her couple. They weren't hot to her. I know they say every 7 years our taste buds and stuff change, but really on the heat too? You know, they just, and I like my poppers. I don't like them as hot as they tasted to me today. She ate them, said they weren't hot. The daughter-in-law ate them, said they weren't hot. The son ate them, said they weren't hot. And I said, just call me a big old sissy, I guess. So, now and it all turned out pretty good overall. The meatballs, I wasn't feeling 200% today, so the son was helping to keep an eye on stuff. But now he's used to grilling. He's not used to smoking. And I did wind up going in and kicking back a little bit in my recliner and just relaxing, and left him out there watching stuff. He didn't think the meatballs had got done, so he left them on there a little longer than I would have, and I think they got a little too done. But the thing is, which I tried to explain to him a couple times and he wasn't grasping it, when you smoke meat, your inside does not get what people are used to calling done by looks. But it's actually done. And I'm telling him, son, if the cheese is melting in the middle, your meatball's done. So, but he did that. Now, my old smoker is about 5 years old. Cheapy from Walmart, one of them $100 ones that I detest. And we couldn't control our fire and our temperature worth nothing in it. It's just wore out. And from different causes, rain, rust, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I said, yeah, that'd be the last time I use this thing. You got to be able to control your temperature if you want to smoke meat. So that thing's going to go bye-bye. And we did the shish kebabs. We got the rainbow peppers for it. Bell peppers. What was they? Green, yellow, red, and orange. And got a sweet onion, some tomatoes, zucchini and squash. And had that marinated meat. And I don't know how y'all do yours. The way we do them, we have everything prepped up and in bowls. Then when it's time to do them, you set it all out and you do an assembly line. Get you a skewer or two. Now, what do you want on it? And the adults will help the children set theirs up. And that way, and the daughter-in-law, I don't know how she ropes fine enough, but we have bamboo skewers. She wrote the kids' names on the handles. And that way, if you get something on there that you didn't like, that's all on you. So we had all that. The wife made some deviled eggs. We bought store-bought macaroni salad, potato salad. We bought canned beans, bushes, and zoomed them. And that was pretty much it for our meal. And I cook a lot. Which they all tease me about, but I cook a lot. I normally like leftover barbecue and whatnot. And you already know we cook a lot, so I leave some for Mom and bring some out for me. And I brought me some out, but there was a lot more left over than me and Mom was going to eat. So I called the daughter-in-law in there and had her helping me put the food up. I fixed me and Mama some, left her sitting in there talking to the son. But I fixed me and her our plates up and told her take this and this and this and fix it up for y'all to take home. Time we got done, she's like, Papa, you're sending home like 3 meals for us. Well, good. Save you $1, won't it? So, which, you know, she wasn't real crazy about it. I'm like, just stop. It was Robert's birthday, you know? I said, but I will tell you, I'm going to take a piece of that cake with me. So, you know, we are doing a swap out here. And you can leave Grandma a piece of cake, which we'd already ate cake. So I got me a piece of his birthday cake back there. The wife did not make it. She was going to. The boy don't eat cake. He's never been a big fan of sweets. I ain't got that problem. But when I was talking to him the other day, I said, now you know your mama's going to make you a cake. What kind of cake do you want? And I don't want to hear. I don't eat cake and all that. You know your mama's going to make you a cake and you're going to eat at least a piece. So he says, chocolate. Fair enough. So Sunday night while we're shopping, she's like, well, I guess I need to get stuff to make him a chocolate cake. What kind of chocolate? Blah, blah, blah. I said, baby, look right there in that counter. They got chocolate cakes. I said, I know you don't want to cook it. I don't want to cook it. We'll buy him one. Well, that's so expensive. No, I don't want to hear it. We want to go home and sit down and do nothing, don't we? Well, yeah. Get one of them cakes and tell that little girl back there to write on it. So he did wind up getting a store-bought cake, which was, it was a good cake actually. A little pricey, you know, them things ain't cheap. A little pricey. But the wife didn't have to stay up Sunday night making it or get up early Monday morning to make it. So it's worth the money to me. So, yes, my old woman's spoiled. Now, she'll tell you she ain't spoiled. She'll tell you I'm well loved. She's spoiled. But, then I had said if I pulled out today, I needed to pull out about 5 o'clock. I pulled out about 8:30. I debated on staying home and just getting up real early in the morning. But like I told her, I said, I won't sleep. I know me. I'll keep waking up and looking at that clock, afraid I overslept. I said, I need to go ahead and get on up, get through Houston and whatnot, because I got to go to Austin. Now, I could run the back roads all the way across. I didn't want to do that, so I dropped down towards Houston. It's 17 miles farther. And I got a lot faster highways and more places to stop at, because they get scarce down here in places. So, I knocked out over 100 miles. I have 96 miles to go in the morning. I can't pull out till 8:30, 8:40 actually. It is what it is. So It's still putting me a little bit later than I really want my stuff to come down tomorrow over the next 2 days. That's part of your pre-planning, folks. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to know how you're going to do it and have a plan. Well, my tomorrow will start about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, a little later than I really wanted to. I would love to be at my dealer over there, my first drop, at 8 o'clock when they open. I'm not going to be able to get there until about 10:30. It is what it is. So, by the same token, I really didn't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get rolling by 5 o'clock to give me 3 hours to run 200 miles and have to deal with Houston traffic and all the other nonsense. So I thought I was doing good just pulling out at all today, because I was very tempted to stay home. I don't expect to hear no guff from the company. I might, but I don't expect to. If I do, they won't like my response. So I tell them, you're lucky. It's a holiday. You're lucky I didn't sit around and drink beer like the rest of America. You're lucky I was sober and I could leave out. No. But like I said, I don't expect to hear from them. But that's what's going on with me. I'm out here again. And tomorrow will be another adventure in the trucking industry. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody made it through it safely without a bunch of bad stuff happening. And I want to remind you that God loves you. So do I. Y'all have a blessed evening now. Good night.